Stories from Kenya with a video. It says why no one can save Kenyans from the Ponzi schemes. Sijaona hii video bado, but I think one reason is the poverty. Ukinipatia option ya kumove out kutoka kwa mzazi jamani, juu nimeshinda jua kali kutoka asubuhi. Hey! I will take it. It's not necessarily my fault. It's because the system is set up in such a way that it puts a lot of people down, and those people are desperate.
Reportedly made losses amounting to... Move on to the next story. Kenyans have yet again reportedly made losses amounting to millions of shillings by falling prey to an online Ponzi-like...
Hingine ilikuwa inaitwangaje? Sasa world coin ni scam lakini jubeste yangu ataniua.
Scheme disguised as...
My brother from Mombasa ataniua lakini ni sawa.
As an e-commerce and
another day, another scam for the umpteenth time now. Residents of Eldoret in the county of Uasin Gishu and its environs.
What is that headline? President Ruto awarded an honorary degree by Baraton University. For what?
The umpteenth time now, residents of Eldoret in the county of Uasin Gishu and its environs have been duped after investing their money in...
Especially hizi za mashinani hizi. Mnaambiwa ati tunawapeleka sijui wapi. Jamani.
dubious companies
aided by church leaders.
Picture this. You've scraped together your last 10,000 shillings and funneled it into a new crypto platform that you heard from your friend that's called Bitstream.
Oh, yeah, it's getting crazy, bana. Wet.
Promising a mouth-watering 5 to 10% every single day. Then before your very first withdrawal, the money is gone. And when you check the Telegram group for answers, you find one final message from the scammer. I still drive my Ferrari and some of you can't afford to eat. That was the message sent to Kenyans by the Telegram admin after defrauding them of over 1 billion shillings.
Jamali tuko na 1 billion ya Kenya. Nani huyu?
Jimmy from
What?
X was one of the 10,000 victims, and his case wasn't unique. It was just one among hundreds of Ponzi schemes running in Kenya today, scamming thousands in real time. In many cases, the people who might be defrauding you aren't always hiding behind the fake profiles on Telegram. Sometimes they're standing right beside you, singing hymns on Sunday, or they're even your own family members.
Mimi hasa pamoja na my relatives, my immediate family.
Huyu aliuza samba. Sasa amefunika sura ya nini na kuna huyu mtu relate.
My wife, my other relatives tumepoteza over 3 million.
Akanipea pesa yake. Mtoto wangu akanipea pesa yake, nikaongeza pamoja ikakuwa 3 milioni. Nikaleta kwa
wako na 3 milioni. Kenya uko na pesa. Nikisema sina pesa niko peke yangu.
Biashara ya Ambrose amepotea na pesa ya wenyewe.
More recently, on April 14th, 2025, CBEX, a fake AI-powered platform promising to double investors' money in just 30 days, sent shockwaves when it collapsed overnight. Users across Kenya and Nigeria woke up to frozen accounts with empty balances and a vague corporate statement blaming a cyber attack, technical irregularities, and yes, even Donald Trump's tariffs, which basically
it's all the bullshit that you see on news.
Translates to, we've taken your money, good luck getting it back. According to reports, CBEX vanished with a staggering $800 million. If accurate, that's over 112 billion shillings. On TikTok, the aftermath played out in real time. Victims posted tearful videos, some having lost everything. The shocking part, right underneath those very videos, in the comment section, new Ponzi schemes were already being advertised, and Kenyans were asking how to join them. Even worse, despite the billions...
What? comment section ya hiyo video tu.
Stolen and countless of lives devastated, perpetrators rarely face justice in Kenya. In this episode, we'll look at exactly how these scams work, and most importantly, the uncomfortable truth about why it's almost impossible to save Kenyans from the endless cycle of Ponzi schemes.
Oh, doing the Lord's work.
Be sure to like the video if you enjoy it and subscribe to the channel for more eye-opening stories from Kenya.
Nice.
A Ponzi scheme is a deceptive investment scam that promises unusually high returns with little to no risk, but behind the pitch, there's no real investment happening.
Something that promises you high returns, low risk, quick time is always a scam. Those are my 3 rules. Tangu nifanywe ile kitu, wala sitaki mchezo. Quick time, high returns, low risk. Inabiti criteria yote, I don't want it.
Instead of generating profits from actual economic activity, the scheme pays early investors using money from new ones. This creates an illusion of a profitable and well-run business, when in reality it's just a money shuffle designed to buy time and lure more victims. The scheme is named after Charles Ponzi, who in 1920 promised investors 50% returns in just 45 days, claiming to profit from an arbitrage in international postal coupons. He ultimately defrauded more than 40,000 people, amassing over $15 million.
15 million in 1920.
The sheer scale of the operation and the media frenzy it triggered made his name permanently synonymous with this style of fraud, even though the scheme itself had existed long before he came along. When CBEX promised returns of 100% per month, they were essentially claiming that they could double your money in 30 days. If someone invested 10,000 shillings and kept reinvesting the principal and the profits every single month, they'd end the year with over 40 million shillings.
40 million kutoka kwa 10k. Sadi ufanye tu mathi yako tu ya kichwa ujue hii kitu ni upuzi.
That's not just unrealistic, it's mathematically impossible for any legitimate business, let alone an investment vehicle.
Unless you're insurance betting, and what is the other profitable business that I know of that just poofs money out of nowhere? Oh, and banking.
What makes these scams especially dangerous in Kenya is how easily they can spread, thanks to how active Kenyans are on social media and our advanced mobile money ecosystem. With over 32 million M-Pesa users, it's incredibly simple for fraudsters to collect small amounts from thousands of people. Safaricom lack legal power to investigate or recover funds beyond technical support, even in accidental transfers. So when
police, as for police, sorry.
someone willingly sends money to a scammer, it's usually gone for good.
Especially hizi za nini za nimekutumia hapo 100,000, nimekutumia hapo 1,800, nimekutumia hapo 800, nani ya mama yangu tafadhali. Nini?
Now, let's break down the exact tactics used. How scammers hook you, manipulate you, and disappear without any consequence. Modern Ponzi operations no longer need to shout, "Get rich quick." They just whisper, "Cutting-edge innovation." CBEX exemplified this approach perfectly.
Sisi wanatumia AI-powered algorithms, bots. What is the other word? AI-powered.
Their supposedly AI-powered platform promised to use advanced machine learning algorithms to deliver guaranteed returns regardless of market conditions. At first glance, such buzzwords convey expertise. In reality, they obscure the lack of any real trading engine. Psychologists call this illusion of explanatory depth, a cognitive bias where individuals believe they understand a concept more deeply than they actually do.
Explanatory bias. Explanatory what now? Explanatory, the illusion of explanatory depth. Sometimes I have this.
Was
Like the fact that especially kwa science sasa una struggle nayo ama chem nini tukaa hizo. Kujanga unadhani umeelewa kitu but ukienda kuelezea mtu mwingine anakuangalia in the form of the measure of how well you know a concept is how easily you can explain it to a person in any way, shape or form.
Still, these schemes thrive in Kenya's regulatory grey area. Jurisdictional overlaps between the Capital Markets Authority, the Central Bank of Kenya, and the Directorate of Criminal Investigations mean that accountability often vanishes in bureaucratic red tape.
The hope is that government agents...
Kwanza bureaucracy ya Kenya inaanga tu upuzi. Unaenda kwa ofisi fulani nakwambia si ofisi yangu. Kwenda tu ID, unaambia uenda kwa chief anakwambia uenda kwa DO. DO anakurudisha kwa chief anakwambia urudi kwa DO. Unashindwa why are we doing wraparounds?
Like the DCI will come in and intervene along with hundreds of others, hundreds of millions, if not more than $1 billion has been lost here, and the man behind it is nowhere to be found.
As a result, victims are often sent in cycles, with each agency disclaiming responsibility. Modern Ponzi schemes don't just sell you lies, they sell you hope. And when jobs are scarce and the whole system feels rigged against the ordinary mwananchi, gambling on these schemes start to make sense. To many desperate Kenyans, taking such gambles feels like the only way out. When you're gasping for air in deep water, you don't question whether the life preserver thrown your way might be real or fake. In many cases, you simply trusted your friend. He showed you real withdrawals, real M-Pesa messages. So you tried it, making sure you just use a small amount. Then to your surprise, you got your first M-Pesa payment. A small payment, but in that moment, everything changed. Suddenly, you're in. And before long, many go from skeptic to believer, investing almost all they can and even recruiting others, thinking they've finally found an opportunity to escape the matrix. Oblivious of the fact that they are in a Ponzi scheme which will eventually collapse. But here's the final twist. When they finally come to terms with the fact that they've been conned, the most insidious weapon in a Ponzi operator's arsenal isn't technology or false promises. It's the shame that silences the victims after the scheme collapses, creating the perfect shield against any form of consequences.
Pamoja na my relatives, my immediate family, my wife, my other relatives, tumepoteza over 3 million.
When Ponzi schemes collapse, the predators don't run. They pivot. Instead of vanishing, the smartest ones switch into predatory mode again, targeting victims while they are emotionally raw, using what's known as a recovery scam. CBEX is a perfect example. After crashing hard, instead of ghosting or insulting users like some Ferrari-driving admins, they dangled one last chance to recover lost funds if you paid a verification fee. If your account had $1,000 or less, deposit $100 to verify. More than that, deposit $200.
This is predatory. This is among the most evil human beings in the world. What? Wana double back mtu nini?
When people are desperate to recover losses, all logic fades away. Hope hardens into stubbornness, and scammers exploit this vulnerability. Psychologists call this the sunk cost fallacy, a cognitive trap where we cling to decisions because of what we've already invested, even when logic screams that continuing is futile. It's why someone might pour more money into a failing business, stay in a toxic relationship for years, or chase a bad investment deep into the red. Even when the rational move is to cut your losses, you can't. Emotionally, it feels like abandoning your money. And in that space, that moment of weakness, they strike again. The shame of losing money to scammers, then giving them more money to scam you again, is so embarrassing, victims can't create awareness by speaking up.
Mimi nimepoteza karibu 7 million in total.
This man and
karibu 7 million in total.
This man, an influential figure in Eldoret town, who asked for anonymity, says he is both afraid and ashamed to face his family in the wake of the 7 million shillings loss he suffered.
Eldoret mko na pesa, 3 million, 7 million, ndo nasikia zimepotea hapo. What?
When Ambrose disappeared with the money he had sourced from his own savings, his family's and his friends.
But perhaps the most devastating variant of Ponzi schemes in Kenya preys on religious communities and spiritual trust. In Eldoret, Springmark investment was orchestrated by Ambrose Makech Abuti. By August 2024, Ambrose had collected 2.4 billion from over 300 congregants, all lured by an 18% monthly return. As a respected church member, Ambrose gained access to congregations through endorsements from the church leaders themselves, who are either deceived.
Kuna kijana wetu huku anafanyanga IT AI hapo. Sasa mzee wa kanisa ajui hizi. Yeye anajua tu Bible top to bottom back to front. Tuko na kijana anafanyanga mambo ya AI ndio tunakula sasa. Ukipatia pesa yako, tunaleta kwa kanisa yenu. Nini? Hivyo watu wanaskamiwa. Mnatoa hadi pesa ya offering na nini? Mtu anakosa kutoa sadaka, anatoa nini? Anapatiana Abroth naye anatoka anataka 2.4 billion. 2.4 billion.
All complicit.
Makech's scheme revealed that they were enticed by the lucrative deals promoted in local churches. Makech had visited several churches using trusted religious leaders to convince the congregations to invest in his company.
Alikuja kwa makanisa, akakuja kwa mabishop. Akawaambia mabishop, nisaidieni washirika wenu wakuja invest kwa hii kampuni.
Mabishop pia waliachiwa chai, si ati unakuja kanisa bure. The more you know.
Puni. Na watapata 18%. Sasa alitumia kanisa ili kupata pesa.
18% of 100k ni 18,000 per month. Samzuri. What?
More than 100 victims filed police reports, yet not a single arrest followed. According to victim testimonies, officers shielded Ambrose from his own congregants. Then he simply vanished, leaving families ruined and their faith shaken.
The affected people are still questioning how and why Ambrose hasn't been arrested following their revelations. Police in Eldoret, who spoke to us on condition of anonymity, say they are equally frustrated by their colleagues from the DCI, with the accused to evade justice. They say DCI officers who have stayed at the police station for long are conspiring to defeat the search for justice.
Not long afterwards, Apostle Seko Silas of Rotham Center Church introduced De La Vie Consult as a divine forex mission, promising an outstanding 30% monthly yield. From the pulpit, Silas insisted that to doubt the returns was to doubt God himself. Entire families sold land or took out bad loans on his word alone, only to watch their savings evaporate.
Sasa imagine uchukue 4 million huyu jamaa ende nayo 4 million unaanza kulipa aje?
Abby Atema says she is in big trouble after urging her mother to give her a title deed in order to secure a loan which she invested at Dela V Consult.
Hatutaamini mtu fulani eti ni mtumishi wa Mungu, sababu huyo ndio tunatarajia angetupea mwelekeo, lakini anatuingiza kwa giza. Kuna mwangaza anatupatia, ni kutuingiza kwa giza.
Ni uchungu mkali sana ikiwa tutakuwa na wenzetu wenye wanatumia njia za ukora kuipia Wakenya wenzao.
To Citizen TV say they have reported the incidents to the police, but very little is being done to apprehend the perpetrator.
Like Spraymark's victims, they lodged police complaints, but again, no arrests were ever made. And Silas too disappeared without explanation. Data shows that for every reported Ponzi scheme, a lot more go unreported. When victims stay quiet, out of shame, scammers reuse the same playbook over and over again, targeting the next wave of hopeful who will also be conned into silence.
Especially Macomrade bana tunaumia. What?
Continuing the unending cycle of Ponzi schemes in Kenya.
That is in Kenya, drug money laundering and tax evasion. What? Easy. By who? What? Don't need video. Information purposes.
Imagine a bank where
Wait. Connect the research and not rely solely on the information that are but when accuracies or damages arising for its use. All that party influence copyright confusion and also the copyright. 1976 McCoffee.
Imagine a bank where you could open an account under a fake name, no ID, no transaction limits. For criminals, tax evaders, and anyone seeking to hide their wealth, this wasn't a fantasy. It was reality at Charterhouse Bank. Through its
I've been waiting for this.
shadowy operations, billions flowed through hidden accounts, enabling some of the largest corporations like Nakumatt and Tuskys to dodge taxes. Whispers of drug money laundering tied to powerful figures like John Arun Mwau added a darker edge to the scandal. By the time the full extent of the bank's misdeeds came to light, even the US ambassador estimated the damage at 60 billion shillings lost through financial malpractice at Charterhouse. In this episode, we'll uncover how a relatively small bank, holding less than 1% of Kenya's market share, became central to one of the country's largest financial scandals of money laundering and tax evasion.
For the who's. You're gonna membership or something.
Even attracting the attention of the FBI. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed.
You know you messed up and the FBI is looking for you.
And subscribe to the channel for more stories from Kenya.
I'll think.